I think I'd rather just see bet on the top left. Just makes my life a lot easier, and I can probably bet a lot of turns. Actually, with stack sizes, it's kind of dicey. But unfortunately, he shoves, and not much of a decision. So I'm kind of getting beat up, which sucks. And I think I get beat up even more for a bit. I haven't seen too many plays that I thought that I disagreed with, but who knows? Top left is a spot where I might consider bluffing against a better player, but against him, I'm just not going to be looking to bluff him too often. Bottom right might be a cool spot to raise him, but yeah, I wouldn't mind a raise there. I think that's what I would like if I was going back. Ooh, so I think about it. Maybe I do it. Oh, I don't. That sucks. I would have liked a raise for sure. I haven't really put his. I haven't tested out how call stationy ADZ is yet, so I don't really know how willing he is to make big call downs, which is something I definitely want to find out. And to be honest, at this point, I haven't seen too many showdowns, so I don't really know what's going on in his head. And I guess I'll touch on that briefly here, unless another hand comes up. I think against a good player, like what I think ADZ is, it's much more important to kind of get into their head and see what they're thinking, as opposed to seeing how they're playing specific hands, because they're going to mix up the way they're playing specific hands so often. So against a weaker player, you might notice, oh, he's always betting his top pairs on the flop when you check to him. And that's probably going to be a read that'll stay very, very constant throughout your game with that weaker player. But against the better thinking player, that's certainly not going to stay constant. And it's much, much more useful to just try and understand how they think about the game, which is much more difficult to do, but much more useful. And in fact, avoid getting into the mindset of, oh, he pot controlled here with second pair, so that means he's probably pot controlling second pair every time. Or for instance, he called the 3-bet with 10-7 offsuit, so that means he's calling the 3-bet with basically anything. And avoid doing that against better players. On the bottom, top left, I decided to call the river. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think that's a great call. I haven't seen him bluff too much, but in this spot, he was betting queen 8, which makes no sense, and I got away with it. The only way that's a good call is if, number one, he's floating really wide, or he's betting weird pairs like he did there. But I hadn't seen him do that, either of those things yet. Maybe I've missed them, but actually he was floating flops pretty wide, so it's not like the worst. But I still think when the 9 came in there, that it's pretty hard for him to have pure air, and that I shouldn't assume he's bluffing with pairs like he was there, or betting pairs. I don't know if he was value betting or what he was doing, block betting. I think raising a hand like ace-8 offsuit against his limp's okay. With 50 big blinds, it's a hand that plays pretty well. If I build a pot a little bit, if I flop top pair, I can feel very comfortable getting it in. So yeah, ADZ's connection was kind of going in and out throughout the match, but actually it was just at the start. For the rest of the match, I don't think there were any issues. So I flop top pair on the bottom left after I call a 3-bet, and I'd opt to just check it back, which I think is okay. My hand's again invulnerable, and I don't think it's a spot he expects me to bluff like super often.